There is a question that has haunted me for years. Do I have to choose between being gay and loving God? Because if I choose myself, if I choose truth, then the church shuts its doors. And if I choose God, then I'm told to erase the part of me that loves, the part of me that feels, the part of me that simply is. What kind of God would demand that I amputate my own soul to be worthy of his love? I don't go to church every Sunday, but I love God. Why? Because I was taught to. When I was young, church felt like peace, and the smell of candles, and the rhythm of hymns, the quiet promise that here, of all places, I was safe. But as I grew older, I realized church was no longer a sanctuary. It was a battlefield. The same walls that once cradled me in prayer began to echo with sermons of fire, preachers spitting words like abomination and unnatural. And as I sat there, I felt their eyes burning into me, like the stained glass itself was judging. Not a house of God anymore, but a courtroom with me on trial, already condemned without defense. I remember standing at the entrance of a church once. The stained glass shone like heaven's own fire. But when I stepped inside, I felt every eye turn toward me, as if my very presence polluted the sacred air. A sermon followed about sin, about abomination, about unnatural desires. But they weren't preaching to shadows like they were preaching to me. I sat there shrinking into the pew, wondering, why does a house of God feel more like a courtroom, with me already condemned? Then there was this time when I was at home. Family dinners, and where the table was supposed to be sacred, where bread was broken, prayers were whispered, and tradition wrapped itself around us like a quilt. I remember one night in particular, a Catholic celebration, candles lit, rosary beads on the table, everyone reciting prayers in unison. But the moment I walked in, the air shifted, the voices slowed, eyes dropped. It was as if my presence had stained the ritual. When the prayer ended, the silence spoke louder than any amen. Forks scraped plates, but no one looked at me. Every word I said seemed to bounce off walls. No one wanted to hear. And then came the whispers. Not in that moment, but afterward. My mother wept as if I had died. My father's voice cracked with words like shame and disgrace. The celebration of faith had turned into a tribunal of judgment. Home, the place that should have been safe, suddenly felt like the first battlefield, where I had to defend my own existence. But the wound cut even deeper the day I tried to give life itself. A friend of mine was about to go into surgery. I remember rushing to the donation center, heart pounding, sleeves already rolled up, ready to do the simplest, most human act of love, give my blood. The waiting room smelled of antiseptic and coffee. People filled out forms in silence, a quiet army of volunteers stepping up to save lives. For once, I felt proud that I could be part of that army. I checked the boxes one by one: age, weight, medical history, and then the question, the one I had learned to dread. Have you ever had sexual contact with another man? My hand trembled. I could have lied, but I told the truth. The nurse read my form. Her smile collapsed into protocol. She didn't have to say much, just one line, flat and clinical. I'm sorry, you're not eligible to donate. I wanted to scream, this is not about sex, this is about saving a life. But my words stayed trapped in my throat. I walked out, empty-handed, with my veins full, but my heart hollow, and the thought crushed me. My blood, warm, red, alive, was considered dirty, unworthy, refused. How do you explain to a friend in need that you tried to save them, but the world decided your love made you too dangerous to help? And through it all, I kept hearing the question echo. Can you be gay and spiritual? Here's the truth I've learned. Spirituality does not belong to the gatekeepers. It is not chained to pulpits or pews or stained glass windows. It does not vanish when your family turns its back. It does not depend on whether a nurse checks a box on a form. Spirituality is the thread between me and the divine, a thread no one can cut. God does not fear my love. God does not exile me for honesty. God whispers in every quiet corner of my life, you are mine, you are loved entirely as you are. If you've been told you must choose between God and yourself, remember this: God already chose you entirely as you are. If that truth resonates with you, carry it into your week and share this with someone who needs to hear it.